We've selected records now based on full and partial matching of search criteria, but the data in our customers table has been textual, so we have not as yet been able to look at searches that we can do with numerical data. In this lesson we've created another table in the sales database, this time containing information on items sold and their prices, so we can do some work with numerical data. The first time we created a table, we did it by clicking on buttons in PHPMyAdmin. This time we'll do it by hand in the SQL query box, so as to refresh your memory on the syntax for table creation. As before, click on the sales database and then on SQL at the top. When we create a table on the command line, we need to know in advance exactly how many columns it's going to have and what all their data types are. We'll create a new table called Items with 3 columns. The first column will be the auto-incrementing ID field, which we'll call Item ID. The second will be the name of the item, which we'll call Item Name, and which will be a varchar field. And the third will be the price, which we'll call Item Price, which will be a decimal field. So let's go. We start with Create Table and the table name. Then parentheses. Then a comma-separated list of the column names. I think it's clearest if I list the column names, one on each line, and then fill in their data types and other information. Item ID is an integer, int, and we'll give it a size of 11. It should be unsigned, so we have positive values only. It should be not null, so we can never have empty values. It's the primary key, 2 words, for this table. And it's auto-incrementing, with an underscore. Item name is a varchar, and we'll give it a length of 50. We specify the character set with character set, 2 words, and we'll set this to UTF-8 MB4 again. We set collation with collate, and we want UTF-8 MB4 underscore Unicode underscore CI. And every item must have a name, so again we'll want it to be not null. Finally, item price is for currency. The best data type for currency is decimal, and in parentheses after that we need to specify 2 numbers, the total number of digits and how many places we want to the right of the decimal point, separated by a comma. The usual setting for this for money is 13,4, giving us 9 places to the left of the decimal point. This will store prices up to 100 million. After the decimal point, we specify 4 decimal places rather than 2, so as to reduce any rounding errors to an insignificant level. By the way, we're not going to specify a currency in the database, just values. The currency will be handled elsewhere in the system. I suppose it's possible that we might want to store items when we don't have a price for them yet, so we'll omit not null. That's a fair old lot of typing, and it's quite possible that there might be a mistake in it somewhere. So select the whole of the query and press Ctrl-C to copy it into the clipboard, just so that if there is a mistake, we don't have to retype the whole thing. Press Go. Click on Structure at the top, and you should see the list of columns with their data types and the other information, just as we've entered them. Now we need some dummy data in the table. Can you remember the SQL syntax to insert data? See if you can write a query to insert the names of 10 items of your choice, specifying values between 1 and 100 for the price. For my examples, I'll have a list of computer components, but we'll only use the price column for our searches, so it doesn't matter what you put as the item names. So that should be insert into items and then parentheses and then the column names separated by commas. Actually, we can significantly reduce the amount of typing by omitting the item ID column, the auto-incrementing column, entirely, and then we don't need to put in all those nulls that we put in before. Just the item names and the item prices, and the values for item ID will be automatically sorted out because it's auto-incrementing. So delete item ID from the column list. Then values. Then a series of 10 sets of parentheses separated by commas, each set containing the values, the two values, also separated by commas. I'll do the parentheses first and then the values. Generic 8 GB SODIMM memory, 20. Generic 16 GB DDR3 memory, 45. Duma mode USB sound card, 5. Reactive Sound Blaster sound card, 20. Acre 21.5-inch Full HD monitor, 70. Bench 21.5-inch Full HD monitor, $69.99. Cryout heatsink cooler, 26. 2.8 GHz 2 MB processor, 40. Zenta optical USB mouse, $3.99. Gaming mouse and backlit keyboard, $19.99. Again, that's a lot of typing, so I'd select all of that and press Ctrl+C to copy it, just in case there's a mistake. Press Go and the data should be inserted. Click on the table name to see the data. So that's given you some more practice in creating a table and inserting data. In the next lesson, we'll look at searches we can do on the numerical data in the price column.